in conservation of plants and animals. The first topic we have studied related about how we should conserve the plants and animals in our surrounding. So then in environment, so where we have studied wildlife sanctuaries, national park or maybe zoo, etc. Then we learned about the flora and fauna related plants and animals. The next topic we have studied, that is called endemic species. So endemic species are the species where it is restricted to only in few places. Now we are studying endangered animals. So endangered animals are the animals, any species. So what is species? Species is nothing but the individuals of the similar kind where they reproduce by themselves. For example, human being, we go to a human being itself. Homo sapien is giving birth to a Homo sapien. Species is a group of similar individuals. They interbreed by themselves and then so they give birth to their own kind. That is called the species. So different types of species are there. Not only in animals, it is in plants also. We can observe different type of species. So any species that is at risk of extinction. Any species at present, so that is at risk of extinction. What do you mean by extinction? So after a few years we can't observe all these animals. That is called extinction. For example, so now we cannot observe dinosaurs. It is only maybe in a picture format or maybe in an artificial, etc. So these are extincted, not present at now. So but these are not extincted. There is a difference. Endangered, the word, it's not danger, it's not that meaning. Here it is, endangered is any species that is at the risk of extinction because of sudden rapid decrease in its population. Why? We can say it is endangered, sudden rapid decrease in its population. Sudden. So maybe because of some reason, so suddenly it will decrease or a loss of its critical habitat is called, animals. It is endangered animals. So endangered animals are the species that is at the risk of extinction or sudden rapid decrease in the population because of many reasons. Suddenly their population will be decreasing. Maybe they'll, for example, because of there is no food proper or maybe the physical environment leads to, so the term for endangered animals. Maybe in within few years, so we won't see all the animals. That is called endangered animals. For example, tigers at present. So it is few in number, but it is in Satpur National Park. So the amount or maybe the number of tigers is more because of that environment. So tigers we should protect in a protected area, maybe like wildlife sanctuaries or maybe national park, etc. So if we protect in their natural habitat, they increase in number, so we can see now, for example, so the future generation also can be observed the living organisms. So now example is tigers, Asian elephants. It is rare now at present. So that is called endangered animals. Orangutans or snow leopards. So these are still many more animals we can observe, or maybe a few in number in nature or in our surrounding, that is called endangered animals. I will repeat, endemic species means the species which is related to that particular area, that is called endemic, but endangered is any species that is at risk of extinction because of sudden rapid decreases in population because of physical environment, temperature or maybe the food, etc. or loss of its critical habitat where they are surviving. So maybe because of some natural disasters we cannot see some of the animals is called endangered animals. So that is the topic we have studied now till now. So all the topics we have completed. Now we are in a endangered animals still. So all these record will be kept in one book. So which book it is? So we are going to study in our next class a red book. Red book, if you observe anywhere, so go through it because it is a very best book to identify, they will collect all the details about all the animals. Maybe it is endemic, maybe it is endangered or related wildlife sanctuaries, related plants, etc. So especially the red book where each record will be there. So that is called the red book. We are going to study in our next class. Students, we have completed already in conservation of plants and animals. Till we have studied endemic species. What is endemic species? Endemic species are the species where it is restricted to some specific area. So let us study now detail about endangered animals and plants and how we are recording the book related to an animals and plants, and then recycling of paper. Next one, what is the meaning of a red data book, etc. So now, in our textbook we are studying. So the two students with a group and maybe with the professor, they are entered already the Pachmari sanctuaries or the biosphere reserve, where it consists of a huge area. In that area are different, for example national park, maybe some of the wildlife sanctuary, everything is present in that area itself. So these students are visiting one place to another, so by observing the few different species of animals and plants. Now they entered Satpura National Park. So in Satpura National Park, as we are observing here, so a beautiful animal group that is called tigers. So this tiger is a national animal of India, where so now it is in extinction, or it is in the term what we can say it is an endangered species. So in Satpura National Park, so why only we can observe tiger? So it is called a protected area, or so it is called project related the tiger. So Tiger Project Act, so where we are protecting tiger in sanctuaries or maybe in biosphere reserves or maybe in national park. Project Tiger deals with the conservation or protecting the tiger in their natural habitat. Here it is in Satpura National Park. So the students are visiting one after the another. So they are walking around across the forest area. They are observed now already all the few endemic species like wild mango, salt tree, etc. Now they entered the one more Satpura National Park, where they may be observed few tigers. So that is, so if we protect our the species or animals, etc., so we can observe in that specific place, and for the future generation also it is beneficial. So the next one, what is endangered animals or the plants? Endangered animals are any species that is at a risk of extinction. In future days we won't observe, we can't see some of the animals and plants. That is called a risk of extinction because of a sudden rapid decrease in the population or a loss of its critical habitat is called endangered animals, like snow leopards or maybe wild buffaloes, tiger, panther, etc. All these are yet to extinct, so that's why they are called endangered. It's not the term related to danger, it's called endangered means, so in future generation we won't see some of the animals and the plants, that is called endangered. So then what we have to do? So if we are keeping record of a few animals, so these are the endangered animals. So now we are studying the documentation of all the plant and animal species is in the form of a book that is called Red Data Book. Red Data Book refers, Red Data Book is a document established by IUCN for documenting the rare and endangered species. Not all the species we are recording, it is a state document or maybe the record of all the documents of rare and endangered. Rare and endangered. For example, if you take dinosaurs, it is extincted. It is not at present, it is not present now. So that's why it is called extincted. So Archaeopteryx, these are called the extincted. So now whatever it is present, yet to extinct, that is called endangered animals and species. So these document we are writing. For example, if we don't know all the types of animals and species in our region, so in that there is a book called Red Data Book. So if you open, if you read, you will get all the documents of the endangered species, that is a plant or maybe animal, species of plants, animals, fungi, and also few local species that exist within a state or a country. So this will be preserved, all the document will be filed under a book called Red Data Book. Data means collection. So you are collecting all the documents of an rare plant species and animal species, rare and endangered. So all will be there. If we want to study a documentation of few rare species, we have to read. We should read the book called Red Data Book, or we should refer Red Data Book, where you will get all the documentation. So next one. So according to in our textbook, the topic given, migration. A seasonal movement of animals and birds from one region to the another. Migration, seasonal movement of animals and birds from region to another, from one region to another. Why? So these are all migratory birds. Maximum we can observe, that is in animals also, in birds also, but we are observing only majority in birds, that is Brahmini duck, egrets, gadwall, gargani, malrad, tuft duck. So all these, only these? No, still many more it is there, but we are studying. So this is just for our reference. Migration, a seasonal movement of birds or animals from one region to another. Why they are moving? For example, so if they are surviving in their natural habitat, so they want to breed, they want to lay the eggs. So in some condition they can't lay the eggs. For example, temperature, if it is very cold, so then they can't lay the eggs. So in that period, or maybe for the food, etc., to change in the climatic condition. So to change the climatic condition, they'll move from place to place, or region to region, because of many reasons. So that's why it is called migration. So it is an migratory birds. So where they'll move, for example, in our area also, if the pond, lake, it is present, so in maybe in the month of June till September or October or till November, we can observe many types of migratory birds. So if you have the developed an habit of listing and naming the migratory bird, and you can also keep one document with you, so that is a good hobby or to enhance our brain. So that is a few activity where we can learn more about our birds. Next one. So the last topic, now we are studying the conservation of plants and animals. So till now we have studied many topics. Now the last one. So if I cut a tree, to grow a plant is very difficult. So if I grow also in huge area like salt forest, etc. So if I remove, that is called deforestation. After removing, so for example, to prepare a paper or to produce a paper, we require tons of wood, that is specially from the tree. So if you save each day or every day one paper without wasting, so it is a very beneficial, because to make a paper, so we are removing all the tree, majority, whichever the tree is useful like bamboo, etc. So we are removing. So then if you want to grow, it takes millions of years, or maybe 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. It's not easy to grow on plant. So that's why there will be a process in our way. So that is, should be a practice in our daily life. That is, so to grow a plant or a sapling in our area meant we are protecting our nature or conserving the plants. Recycling. What do you mean by recycling of paper? Why we should recycle the paper? The reason, as I said, to produce one sheet of paper or one bundles of paper, it takes many years, and maybe maximum trees we have to remove from the forest, etc. So but if I use again and again, whether I can use again and again, there are the different procedures. So this is a tree. After that I used up paper. Then for the dustbin, it's a separate dustbin where the waste material, waste papers will be collected. And if I give to different places, so where in that place they'll generate a new paper by using that waste papers. So they'll mix with few chemicals, then they'll prepare a new one from the waste paper. So that is nothing but recycling. The recycling of paper is the process by which waste paper is turned into new paper products. That is called recycling paper. So the last topic and end of our lesson, that is called reforestation. You can observe here, there is a process of growing plants in the whole forest itself, or maybe in the area where the plants is removed in one area, so then they are planting again the sapling. What is this called? Reforestation. There are three terms we have studied. Afforestation. Afforestation is nothing but growing the new sapling in open area. It will turn into a forest in future days. That is called afforestation, growing a new sapling or a plant, etc. The second one, deforestation, clearing the forest area is called deforestation. The third one is reforestation. Again, reforestation means where the forest already it is existed, we removed few plants, then again we are growing the saplings in that area. If you are removing the tree, again you are growing the new sapling in that place only, that day itself, or maybe within few days, then you will get in a future generation new forest. That is called reforestation. Children, we have studied already, we have completed a topic called conservation of plants and animals. Let us revise once again. So all the slides, will go through it. Okay, conservation of plants and animals. That is now revising, we are revising the topic. So what is deforestation? We have studied, again I will repeat once. It refers to the decrease in the forest areas across the world that are lost for other uses such as agriculture, croplands, urbanization or mining activity. So why we are removing plants? We are removing plants for agriculture, urbanization, so we are converting the entire forest area into city, etc. Or mining activity. To mine, or mining is an activity where you are extracting the ore from the earth surface. That is called mining activity. So that is nothing but deforestation. The next one, we have studied what is forest. A sal forest, a large area covered chiefly with trees and undergrowth. So these are called the forest. If you observe, so our mind will be refreshing because all the plant species, animals, endangered animals, or maybe few small insects will be there. So everything will be protected under a forest. Next one we have studied national park. So how we can conserve animals or wildlife, etc. National park, an area of countryside or occasionally sea or freshwater protected by the state for the enjoyment of general public or the preservation of wildlife. That is nothing but national park. All this is related to your Pachmari biosphere reservoir. I have taken the image from that area where, because we are studying in our textbook related Pachmari biosphere reservoir. So that's why, so the image is related to that area. So that is called the national park. Next, so if I remove, first we have studied, so if I remove the plants, deforestation leads to one day the term called the drought. So if I am removing, there will be a reduced rainfall. In that case, the land will convert into a barren land. Drought. A drought is a long period with no rain or unusually low levels of rain or other precipitation. If I am removing the plants, clearing the forest area, I won't get a rain. So then automatically the land, observe carefully, it will be broken. The crack can be absorbed on the land surface is nothing but drought. Next one, flood. So maybe we are familiar with a term called flood at present. So in 2020 we faced many flood in different regions. The reason is a human being itself. So because all the animals, So they are not having any desire to survive in the nature. But a human being as a mammal, where our desires leads to one day. So we are facing all the year one by one. So maybe some of the diseases are maybe we are facing different types of flood, volcano or earthquake, etc. What is the main reason for the flood? So if you are removing the plant, uprooting the plant from the area, an overflow of a large amount of water beyond its normal limits, especially over what is normally dry land. So that is nothing but flood. So we faced, at present also we are facing day by day, there is a threat of a flood. The reason is as a human being because of his desire. So next, conservation of forest and wildlife. The protection of diverse wildlife in the forest is called wildlife conservation. So we are conserving some of the rare species and the plants also. Next, nominated by national government, it is called Pachmari Biosphere Reservoir and remain under the sovereign jurisdiction of the states where they are located. So they are under the control of government. So this is a beautiful place of Pachmari Biosphere. In our textbook, Bujo and Paheli are visited already inside the Pachmari Biosphere Reservoir. So they have wandered and maybe where they are enjoying inside the Pachmari Biosphere Reservoir, where you are getting a few different types of species of plants and animals. So next we have studied flora. Flora are nothing but plants, are rare plants. So here it is just an imaginary slide where, so it shows all the different types of plants. The different types of plants protecting, that is called conservation of plant. One group that is called the flora plant. Next one, animals. Rhinoceros, ancient elephant, maybe the leopard. So all these comes under animals. Still many more is there. So only for the study purpose. So I've taken the pictures. Next one, endemic. See how beautiful it is. Related reptile. So endemic species, the ecological state of a species where a species is unique to a defined geographical location. We can't see everywhere. It is specific or it is restricted to some area only. Next one, species. Different types of species are there all around the world, including python, seahorse fish, elephant, maybe snow leopards, crocodile, or bat, lion, tiger, or plants. Different types, varieties are there. So all that are called species. A group of living organism consists of similar individuals capable of exchanging genes or interbreeding themselves. The species is the principal natural taxonomic unit ranking below a genus. Next to genus, next year you are going to study what is the 5 animal kingdom, how to write the classification or the scientific names, etc. and denoted by Latin binomial. So here one example given, Homo sapien. Who is Homo sapien? Homo sapien is the genus and species name of an human being. Homo sapien will give birth to an Homo sapien only. It's not only one species. So all the species, that all the individuals are giving birth to their own kind. Next we have studied wildlife sanctuary. A wildlife sanctuary is a place of refuge where abused, injured and abandoned captive wildlife may live in a peace and dignity for the remainder of their life. So they live in their own habitat, that is called wildlife sanctuary. We have studied already. Now today we have completed Satpura National Park. Next, so we have studied endangered animals. After that, if you are keeping a document of all the plant and animal species, that is a rare and endangered species, that is nothing but red data book. The next we have studied migration or the migratory birds, recycling of paper, then reforestation. So reforestation is the last one.
So where we are protecting our nature one step again, we are moving forward. If we remove forest area, clearing the forest area, in that moment only, if you grow a few sapling in that place, so again it will convert into a thick forest in future generation. So this is related about the conservation of plants and animals.